Picture this. You're scrolling through your phone at 2 a.m., unable to sleep. You open your messages and notice something that makes your stomach drop. That friend who used to text you daily? Last message, 3 months ago. Your college roommate who swore you'd be at each other's weddings. The group chat's been silent for half a year. You didn't have a fight. There was no dramatic fallout. No blocked numbers. No heated words. Just silence. And here's what destroys you. You can't even pinpoint when it happened. My friend, you've been experiencing what psychologists call social death. And the cruelest part? You were the last one to know. We're raised on a lie. We're told that when people are done with you, you'll know. There'll be a confrontation, an argument, a moment of truth. We expect the courtesy of closure, the dignity of an explanation. But that's not how it works in the real world. The most devastating exits happen in silence. The people who truly erase you from their lives don't slam doors. They simply stop opening them. They don't block you with fanfare. They just stop answering, stop showing up, stop trying. And by the time you notice the absence, they've already been gone for months, maybe years.
That friend who's always too busy to meet up? They're not busy. They made time for someone else. That family member whose texts went from paragraphs to K. They didn't get bad at texting. They got done with you.
Here's the truth that'll keep you up tonight. They didn't leave yesterday. They left 6 months ago. You just weren't important enough to notice. Chapter 2. The biological truth. Your brain is hardwired for this kind of abandonment. Not to experience it, to execute it. Listen carefully. In our ancestral environment, vocal banishment was dangerous. When you publicly expelled someone from the tribe, you created an enemy. Someone who knew your weaknesses, your patterns, your location. Confrontation sparked retaliation. It destabilized the entire group. So the human brain evolved something more efficient, silent pruning. The ability to withdraw investment without triggering confrontation. It's not modern rudeness, brother. It's ancient survival programming that's 10,000 years old. Here's what's happening neurologically. Your brain's default mode network is constantly running a background calculation. Does this relationship serve my survival, my growth, my peace? Every interaction is data. Every conversation is evidence. And when the answer shifts from yes to no, something fascinating happens in the brain. The anterior cingulate cortex, your conflict monitoring system, immediately suppresses your confrontation impulses. Your prefrontal cortex, the executive function center, initiates what neuroscientists call resource reallocation. Translation? Your brain decides you're not worth the energy of an argument. So it ghosts you at a biological level. The person doesn't hate you. Hate requires energy, emotional investment, active thought. Instead, they enter what psychologists call emotional foreclosure, a protective shutdown where you become psychologically irrelevant. Their mirror neurons stop firing empathy for you. You get reclassified in their neural architecture, from ally to neutral entity, from priority to background noise. And here's the devastating part. This happens unconsciously. They don't sit down and decide to erase you. Their nervous system makes the decision for them, then justifies it later. Chapter 3. The mechanism. Let me walk you through exactly how you get erased. Phase 1. The accumulation. It starts small. Micro-betrayals that stack silently. A broken promise here. A subtle disrespect there. Emotional unavailability when they needed you. Each incident is small enough to ignore individually. But the limbic system? It keeps score like a biological ledger. Every slight, every dismissal, every moment you chose yourself over them, recorded, time-stamped, weighted. Phase 2. The threshold event. There's always a final moment. Not necessarily the worst thing you did. Just the final data point. The moment their nervous system says, this pattern will never change. Maybe you canceled plans for the 4th time. Maybe you forgot something that mattered to them. Maybe you proved once again that your convenience outweighs their worth. Psychologically, this is called learned irrelevance. They stop believing repair is possible. They stop believing you'll change. They stop believing you even see the problem. Phase 3. Emotional detachment. This is where you become a ghost to them while still being physically present. They don't hate you. They've moved beyond hate into something far more final. Indifference. You're still in their contacts, still on their social media, but emotionally, you're archived, filed away, closed. The dopamine hit they used to get from your name on their screen? Gone. The neural pathways that associated you with comfort, joy, safety, pruned. The brain literally rewires itself to stop caring about you. Phase 4. Behavioral withdrawal. Now, the signs become visible. Responses slow from minutes to hours to days. Excuses multiply. Invitations decline. But here's what you don't understand. They're not plotting against you. You're just no longer in their mental budget. You're competing with their job, their hobbies, their new friends, their peace of mind. And you're losing. Quietly. Completely. Chapter 4. The warning signs. Let me give you the checklist. The signs you missed while you were too busy to notice. Sign 1. Text decay. Remember when they sent you paragraphs? Then it became sentences. Then single words. Then just emojis. Now? Kai. Or worse, they leave you on read and you tell yourself they're just busy. You're not busy, brother. They're Sign 2. The perpetual soon. We should catch up. But there's never a concrete date. Never a real plan. Just this vague promise that floats in the air like smoke and dissolves just as quickly. Sign 3. Absence from spontaneity. They used to invite you to random things. Coffee runs, late night drives, last minute plans. Now, you're not even on the list. You find out through social media that the hangout happened without you. Sign 4. Emotional grayscale. When you do talk, conversations lack color, no depth, no vulnerability, no genuine laughter, just surface-level updates and polite questions they don't actually care to hear answered. Here's the test. Most people fail. Stop initiating contact for 30 days. Don't text first. Don't call. Don't like their posts. Just stop. If they don't reach out, you already have your answer. The relationship was on life support, brother, and you were the only one pumping. Chapter 5. The collapse. Eventually, you notice, not because they told you, because the absence becomes impossible to ignore. The birthday that went unacknowledged. The crisis they didn't show up for. The silence that's no longer comfortable, just empty. And then the spiral begins. First comes denial. They're just busy. Going through something. It's not about me. Then bargaining. You reach out more, trying to revive what's already dead. Double texting, triple texting, making excuses to contact them. Then anger. After everything I did for them? After all those years? Then rumination. You replay every conversation, searching for the moment it broke, the exact second you became disposable. But here's what truly destroys you. The unwitnessed ending. There was no trial, no defense, no chance to understand, apologize, or fight for repair. You were sentenced without a hearing, erased without explanation, and this creates an identity fracture. If they could erase me this easily, was I ever real to them? If my absence required no explanation, what does that say about my value? Every remaining relationship now carries suspicion. Are they fading too? Am I just too blind to see the pattern repeating? The trust detonation is complete. Chapter 6. The bitter truth. Now we get to the part you don't want to hear. Most people who quietly cut you off had a legitimate reason. And deep down, if you're brutally honest with yourself, you know what it was. Were you consistently reliable? Or did you cancel when something better appeared? Did you actually listen? Or just wait for your turn to talk? Were you there in their crisis? Or only when it was convenient for you? Did you respect their boundaries, or bulldoze them in the name of caring? Here's the uncomfortable math, brother. If multiple people are exiting your life, silently, the common denominator isn't society. It's not modern culture. It's not other people being too sensitive. It's you. People don't ghost those who add undeniable value to their lives. They ghost those who've become emotional liabilities. The silence isn't random cruelty. It's the market speaking. You're being outbid by their own peace of mind. And here's the paradox that'll cut deepest. The very traits that made you too much, or not enough, are traits you probably refuse to examine. Because examining them requires admitting you might be the villain in someone else's story. That's the pill. Swallow it or stay confused. Chapter 7. The solution. So what now? First, accept this. Not all relationships are meant to be permanent. Impermanence isn't failure, it's nature. Even the best buildings eventually get demolished. The self-audit. List every person who's distanced from you. Write down what you contributed versus what you extracted. Look for patterns. If the same complaints appear across multiple relationships, that's data, not coincidence. Own it. If you were the problem, name it. Even if just to yourself. Radical honesty is the only path forward. Release without resentment. They don't owe you closure, brother. Closure is an inside job. Stop waiting for someone else to give you permission to move on. Upgrade your standards. Stop chasing people who don't pursue you. Mutual effort or nothing. The moment you accept one-sided relationships is the moment you accept being disposable. Become undeniable. Work on yourself so intensely that future relationships can't imagine life without you. Be the person people fight to keep, not the person they're relieved to lose. Stop asking, why did they leave me? Start asking, what kind of man attracts people who stay? Quality people don't quietly exit quality relationships. If they left without a word, either they weren't quality, or the relationship wasn't, or both. Either way, the solution is the same. Become better. Choose better. Accept better. The silence you fear is actually the answer you need. Listen to it.